More NASCAR stars continue to be attracted to the Bristol Dirt Nationals as Chase Elliott joins the entry list for drivers who will be racing the Bristol Dirt Nationals. Jessica Friesen will be joining her husband in racing and making her Truck Series debut at the Penny's Dirt Truck Series event at Bristol Dirt. And Kaz Grala might be racing the Talladega Cup Series race for Kaulig Racing. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. We got quite a few NASCAR stories to discuss here today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's start off all the sponsorship news and paint scheme news we've had over the last couple days. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's start off with Ryan Vargas' 2021 Hoseman, an advanced masonry scheme that will be sponsored by Phoenix as they are lifelong partners and partners that have partnered up with him since his late model career. In my honest opinion, this schemes look really awesome. It's really awesome that longtime partners of Ryan Vargas are continuing to sponsor him since he's been in his late model days, and it's really awesome they're partnering up. I like this a lot, and I can't wait to see it out on the racetrack. Hopefully Ryan Vargas can have some success this year, and hoping the best for Ryan Vargas. Is really cool that lifelong sponsors are working with him once again. The next announcement we're going to talk about is AgPro, as they're going to be sponsoring the Talladega NASCAR Xfinity Series race in April. Now, they actually last year sponsored the fall race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. When the pandemic hit, there were 2 Talladega races that took place. And once again, AgPro is partnering up to sponsor the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Really cool that AgPro is partnering up once again. I don't know what the fall race is going to be for Talladega, but really cool that AgPro is sponsoring the Talladega NASCAR Xfinity Series race. The next news we're going to talk about is some paint scheme news, as Justin Allgaier will have a new paint scheme that we will see here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 2021 Exalted Echo Park scheme, like I said, we'll see at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This paint scheme is very slick. I'm always a huge fan of the Exalted cars in general, and I think that this scheme, the colors match very well. I think you also get some of that Brandt as well. Brandt always has some really nice schemes. I like this paint scheme quite a bit. It's really nice to see, and I can't wait to see it on the racetrack at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And then the final sponsor in paint scheme news that we actually got, we're going to talk about 511 Auction, as they're going to be sponsoring Landon Castle at Phoenix International Speedway. I actually really do like this paint scheme quite a bit as well. You get the white sponsor on the front of the hood as well, but you also get the red background, which JD Motorsports is known for having a lot of red backgrounds on their cars. I think that this really looks really awesome, and it's going to be a great option to see on the racetrack as well. And actually, there was one more announcement I forgot to mention. Can-Am is going to be sponsoring Alice Bay for 8 races in 2021. Now, for those who know, Can-Am has worked with Alice Bay. They worked with him when he ran in the Penny Series, and they actually sponsored him for a majority of the year in 2018 when he ran full-time, and he's ran full-time for the last couple years in Xfinity. They are sponsoring once again for 8 races. Really awesome that Can-Am is going to be partnering up. Can-Am is a pretty big company, and it's really awesome that Can-Am is continuing to work with Alice Bay and continue to support NASCAR drivers out. It's really awesome to see. Great to see Can-Am partnering up and sponsoring 2021. This is really exciting news to definitely hear. And now we're going to go ahead and jump onto the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about Aaron Ryan, as he is going to be becoming the Vice President of Communications for NASCAR. Now, he will report to Eric Nyquist. Now, for those who don't know, Eric Ryan has worked with the NYSC. I don't remember what that is. He's worked with Nike and some other, and AT&T as well. So, Eric Ryan probably knows what he's doing, and I think that this is a really good addition for NASCAR. I've seen a lot of people really celebrating this. He's also African-American, which is really awesome to see as well. More inclusion in sport. I really like to see that. Great news for Eric Ryan. I think he'll bring a lot to the table and a lot to NASCAR. I think this is really exciting. Great to hear that Eric Ryan is going to be joining NASCAR. And very exciting news, definitely. Really excited for that. That's for sure. And now we're going to jump onto the next story of this episode, as we're going to talk about some changes to the Xfinity Series stages that we are going to see for this year. So, Nashville has some changes to their schedule, as they're going to be having laps for their stages on 45, 45, and the 98 for the national race. I think there's some changes to that. Road America, it'll be 10, 10, then 25. I think they're cut their laps down to 40 laps. I think there was like 45 laps last year, but now they're cutting the lengths of their races down to 40 laps. So it's going to be a shorter NASCAR Xfinity Series race. And in Las Vegas is going to be 45, 45, then 111. Now, Bob Poggers had reported it was 45, 45, then 101, but now they exchanged that to 45, 45, and 111. So, man, the race is definitely going to be really long. They extended the race up to 201 laps, so it's a longer race overall. Really exciting news for sure, and those are some of the changes to the Xfinity Series stages. And now we're going to jump onto the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about some rules, more rules that have come out regarding the Bristol Dirt Race. Now, for the Cup Series, when it comes to the qualifying, the 4 open cars with the most heat race points make the race. So the 4 open cars that make it. I assume there's probably going to be more than 40 cars that are going to be entering the Bristol Dirt race. And remember, the rules is that they're going to be looking at how many positions you gain and where you finish in the race. It's going to be a collection of points, like I said, from passing points and where you finish in the race. The 4 highest finishers of that will end up getting points. For the Truck Series, the top 35 in e-race points and 5 provisionals based on owner points, with 1 spot available for champion from the last 10 years. So someone is going to make it locked in regardless. There's not many champions in the field. Sheldon Creed would be one of those, but he's going to be good up points. Same with Brett Moffitt. So someone like hasn't raced recently might be able to make it in as well. But yeah, top 35 for trucks. That's some changes in regards to that. Pretty cool in my opinion, and hopefully we'll see some really good racing for the event, for the Penny Dirt Truck Series event. Really exciting news. Definitely great news to hear overall. And now we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about a scary incident that happened earlier today. Victory Air had a plane that had to return to the airport safely and landed. Apparently, it lost oil pressure after takeoff. Now, apparently, this plane is a charter plane that NASCAR basically uses, and apparently the team I've been hearing is Team Penske. That's really, really scary, man. It's really, really, really scary. I'm glad everyone is definitely all right. Prayers go out to everyone. That's a very, very scary situation, and great to hear that everyone is all right after the incident. Man, I wouldn't want to be in that position. Glad that they caught that very, very quickly after takeoff, and great to see that overall. Glad to see that everyone is all right. And we're going to talk about some not good news now, as we're going to talk about, unfortunately, some more staff layoffs. According to Anna Stern, NASCAR last week implemented a count of layoffs, with the cuts coming in just 5% of the company, and further underscoring the financial hit from the pandemic. Now, apparently, he's also reported this well. The cuts include both current positions and some that were vacant, but will not be filled. This is definitely disappointing to say the least, but again, a lot of this comes from the pandemic, and we've seen this in many, many companies, not just NASCAR, where they have been laying off a lot of employees in different areas, and I think that's trying to cut the costs as well. I know NASCAR said they wanted to cut costs, but I don't think they wanted to lay off their employees like this without the pandemic. This is definitely really, really disappointing to say at least that more people get left. I don't know anybody that is in NASCAR that has been laid off at this time, but if you've had anybody that you know, I feel bad for you, because this really, really sucks. I feel bad overall, and hopefully these guys can find some jobs, maybe some race teams. They can find somewhere else to go to continue, because the less people that are in the sport, the worse that NASCAR is going to be off. I think more people need to be involved in sport. I think the less is not more, in my opinion, in this situation, and it's definitely disappointing to say the least. But yeah, hope these people are able to find jobs somewhere else, and it's disappointing to say the least that we had to have some staff layoffs that had to take place over the weekend. And now we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next story of today's episode. We're going to go ahead and talk about Jessica Friesen, as she is going to be making her NASCAR Truck Series debut, or attempting to qualify for the Penny Dirt Truck Series event in the number 62 truck. This is going to be the first time the Hall of Friesen Racing is going to be fielding 2 trucks, and husband and wife duo will be racing together and attempting to make the race. So now Stuart Friesen, he should be locked in, but Jessica Friesen, she will have to qualify her way into the Bristol Dirt Truck Series event. Now, for those you don't know, Jessica Friesen is also the ex of Jessica Zemson. She was the ex of Tony Stewart, so they've had some definitely history together. Apparently, Stuart Friesen and Tony Stewart are not big fans of each other, let's be real. I mean, he kind of called him out on the Kevin Ward Jr. incident, so that's definitely not the best news overall. But there's also some good things out of this as well. For those you don't know, people thought that this was going to be the first husband and wife duo that would be seen to attempt to qualify for the event. Well, actually, that's not true at all. Patty Moyes and Elton Sawyer in 1991 at a track called Rougemont, either in North Carolina or South Carolina in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, they actually raced against one another, and they crashed out together. So Patty Moyes, I think, was racing maybe for Michael Waltrip Racing at the time. Elton Sawyer, can't remember what team he was racing for, but they both raced against each other in 1991. Now, this is the second time I think that this is happening, where a husband and wife duo is going to be racing. Now, a little bit background also in Jessica Friesen. She actually has, I believe, 99 starts and 4 career wins, and quite a few top 5s and top 7s, so she's very, very consistent. Now, how likely do I think that Jessica Friesen is going to be able to make it into this race? I think she has a very, very good chance. Usually the Homer Friesen trucks, especially on the dirt, are generally really, really fast. So I think that she has a really good opportunity of making it into this event. Hopefully she can make it in this event. So I think that this would be a really cool story, regardless if Jessica Friesen is able to make it into this Truck Series event. You know, husband and wife racing together. That's really, really cool to hear. And I heard this yesterday, man. I thought this is really cool. I heard this as a rumor. I didn't think it would come true, but now it's really awesome here and great to hear. I think that she has a really good opportunity to make it. I don't think she's going to win the event, but if she makes the event, that's already really, really awesome. And representation in the sport for sure. Really great to hear. Really cool to hear that Jessica Friesen is getting an opportunity to race alongside her husband. And now we're going to jump on to the next story of today's episode. And it looks like potentially that Kaz Grala is going to be running the number 16 for Kaulig Racing at Talladega Superspeedway. Last night on Twitter, he posted a picture of some jerseys that he had and some shirts he had online on Twitter, showing that he was looking at racing at Talladega Superspeedway. Now, the team themselves has not confirmed this at this time, but I find it really intriguing that Kaz Grala is potentially going to race. Now, there's a couple reasons why I think this is going to happen. Number one, Kaz Grala actually raced and attempted to qualify for Daytona 500 with Kaulig Racing, and he was able to make it in and help A.J. Allmendinger make it into the Daytona Road Course. They raced the first two races, and Daytona 500 did not go so well for that team, but they were able to make it into the next race, and A.J. Allmendinger, I think, got a top 10, so he recovered pretty well race, and that team is somewhat competitive in the event. They were running in the top 5 quite a bit of that event as well, so I think that team would have a really good chance. Another reason I think that this is going to be the case is Kaulig Racing said that they are attempting to run all the super speedway racetracks and the road course events. So that's why I think this is another reason why I think that this is actually going to happen. How likely do you think Kaz Grala will do? Kaz Grala has shown his worth on super speedway tracks. I mean, he won a race in 2017 and I think it was like his 5th or 6th start in the Truck Series for GMS Racing. So he's had a lot of experience on those, and he got his first win, the first start for that team in that season. So I think Kaz Grala definitely will run this event. I think that this overall is a really good opportunity for them. I think Kaz Grala is a really good race car driver. I think he should be running full-time for this team or running full-time for another organization, but it is what it is. I wish he was running full-time for Richard Childress Racing right now because I think he'd do really, really well. But I think this is a really cool opportunity overall, and I hope this ends up becoming true because I think he's a fantastic driver, and hopefully he is able to race with his team going forward, and good luck to him if he's able to race. And now we're going to go ahead and jump on to the final story of today's episode. As I mentioned in this episode, there are a lot of drivers that are going to be running the Bristol Dirt Nationals events or running some dirt racing events to get up to speed and get ready for the Cup Series event. A lot of people are putting work into it. Chase Elliott confirmed yesterday, confirmed this on Wednesday, that he is going to be running the Bristol Dirt Nationals event in the number 9 car for A-Shock Racing during the Bristol Nationals event, late model event, on March 19th and March 20th. Now, Chase Elliott, this will not be the first time he's racing on dirt racing. He raced the Chili Bowl not that long ago and was able to make it into the FMA. And he also raced in Millburn Speedway and got on the podium alongside Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe. He's been putting the work into this and racing in different forms. Chase Elliott during the offseason also raced in many other forms of racing as well. He raced, like I said, at the Rolex 24. Has some decent success, wasn't really fast, but is a different car compared. And he did overall the best he could, but could have done better, let's be honest. But he did the best he could, in my opinion, and was putting together some pretty strong performances for that organization, Action Express. And they actually almost won the event. They were really up front. Actually, I think they had an issue late, which they were up front at points. They were leading, but that team I think, got some damage with Chase. They were showing speed, but were not, and they were dominant early in the race, but because they won the pole, but they were not overall fast. But that being said, man, I've said this many times to say this again. I think there's a lot of drivers and more drivers that are going to get confirmed to run upcoming events. We know drivers that are running. We know Kevin Harvick, he's going to be running the Penny's Dirt Truck Series event in DGR Crossley equipment. We've heard rumors about Martin Truex Jr. that he's going to run for Kyle Busch Motorsports. We've heard rumors we know that Kyle Busch is going to run. We know Joey Logano's going to be running. We know Matt Crafton's going to be running the Bristol Dirt Nationals. We know for a fact that Brad Keselowski is going to be running a dirt race actually tonight, as a matter of fact. We know that Austin Dillon and Corey LaJoie are going to be racing. And we know a lot of other drivers that could also be racing more upcoming events in the foreseeable future to get experience. And you can't really count out guys like Chase Elliott. I think the traction of these stars racing this event, I think if you're going to the Bristol Dirt Nationals on March 19th and March 20th, I think you've got a lot to look forward to because I think you're going to see some really exciting racing. And I think that you should definitely look forward to those events. I think Chase Elliott will definitely try to put on the best show he can. I don't see him winning the event because, again, you have also Kyle Larson racing an event. I think Kyle Larson is arguably the favorite to win that, even though you have guys like Jonathan Davenport racing that. And Scott Bloomquist, I think, is also racing the Bristol Dirt Nationals. I think you have to look at Chase Elliott as being one of the favorites to, one of the guys that's going to get a lot of experience. He's a guy that learns very quickly, similar to Kyle Busch. He's like Kyle Busch. He wants to race as much as possible and get experience. And I'm glad that Chase Elliott is continuing to put along the work, along with other race car drivers who may think that, hey, we can take a step back. No, they're going out there and putting the work into it, and I think that's really good overall for the sport. And great news here that Chase Elliott is going to put the work in, and glad to see he will run the Bristol Nationals here in 2021. In about a week, as a matter of fact. Actually, that's next week, as a matter of fact. So, expect more confirmations throughout the weekend drivers racing. But yeah, really, really awesome news here. Chase Elliott is going to be joining the list of Cup drivers, long list Cup drivers that are going to be running the Bristol Dirt Nationals and other dirt events coming up here very, very soon. So, anyway, that is going to be for today's NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications so you get me notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links here for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about Chase Elliott racing the Bristol Nationals? How well do you think he's going to run in it? Let me know in the comments as well. And what are your thoughts about Jessica Friesen making her Truck Series debut for Homer Friesen Racing? And your thoughts also about Kaz Grala potentially racing at Talladega for Kaulig Racing? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like YouTube can recommend more of these great videos out to you guys. If you do that, I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.